All right, back here at East High School, which of course is closed for the rest of the week after another act of violence. We will update you on that breaking news from Park County on the shooting suspect. But first, we want to update you on the two victims, two staff members here at the school, deans. Gerald Mason, we know, is out of the hospital. Good news there. Meanwhile, Denver Health says Eric Sinclair, the other male shot, is in serious condition, but that's an upgrade from his critical condition. Yesterday, we found videos of both men that were shared by the school online. The head wrestling coach at East High School says both men have been instrumental in changing the lives of students. They are obviously highly respected individuals here at the school.
We heard from students saying so many great things about them and hoping for the best for them. We do want to get out to that breaking news. Park County Sheriff's Office confirming that the body they found last night is that of the shooting suspect. This finding came after an hours-long manhunt that kept the community on edge throughout the day. We want to get to Veronica Acosta this morning with the latest on how this shooting started. Of course, Veronica, we know this suspect was being patted down when he was able to get out a gun.
He was, and this is all new information this morning. Overnight, the Park County Sheriff sharing on their Facebook page that the 17-year-old East High shooter, Austin Lyle, is now dead. They've actually confirmed that the body that was found near Lyle's suspected vehicle is that of Lyle. And last night, Park County Sheriff Tom McGraw himself saying that it was Lyle's, that they didn't know if it was Lyle's body, but did say the public could rest easy. He added the quote, "It's over with." The suspect's vehicle was found more than 50 miles away from Denver. That's nearly an hour away from East High School, where we are this morning over in Park County. In that Facebook post, the sheriff did let everyone know that next of kin had already been notified as well. We're live in Denver on Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
All right, thank you, Veronica. Well, clearly this community is frustrated with another act of violence. In fact, I was here at the school, standing in front of the campus, very near where we are this morning, with a group of parents who were just trying to get in touch with their kids who were inside the school. They were texting frantically, watching this police activity unfold. The crime scene investigators and obviously two ambulances leave with the adult victims inside. This again is another situation where the community is fed up with the violence. One of the more surreal scenes was seeing the students in the windows looking down at this crime scene unfold in front of them. It was agonizing for the parents. And one mom I spoke to has a sophomore at the school. She's fed up with the non-action, she says, from officials, and she just wants her son to be okay.
I'm pissed. I'm very mad. These kids spent so much time and energy protesting. I was there with them. They spent so much time and energy, remembering Luis's loss. And what's going on? Like, why is it just landing nowhere and like nothing's being done? My son is breaking down. He's saying he doesn't want to die. Like, it's just ugly.
You said your son seems to stay collected on the outside. What do you feel like is really going on in his mind?
Well, he's scared. He doesn't want to show it, but when we do go to restaurants and I'll get an email from the school, be like, another incident happened, but it was fine, it was resolved. He'll just look at me and then, with a blank look on his face, and he'll just break down and he just starts to cry. And I'm like, why are you crying? And he's like, because I don't want to die, Mom. I have a whole life to live. Like, why do I have to die? It's just not a good situation, and it just needs to be resolved. I don't know what else to do.
The sentiment of so many parents who are at a loss and feel helpless right now. That is her only child, so it's certainly heartbreaking. He is asked to be homeschooled, which no parent wants to hear. Obviously, they want their child to be happy in the school environment, feel safe going to school and getting an education. We are parents. Yeah. We know it's frightening. My wife is a high school teacher.
I couldn't wait to pick up the kids yesterday, and I know a lot of parents had that same feeling.
Right. Hug them extra tight, and it didn't used to be like this. I didn't used to have this feeling.
No.
And now we do.
It's been so frequent. We heard, Brian, obviously the fear and the sadness and the frustration and anger, though, also from parents. And we heard calls perhaps louder than ever, to do something and bring police officers back into our schools to protect students here. So that is one of the big changes we will see going forward. DPS Superintendent Alex Marrero announcing yesterday, just hours after the shooting, that armed police officers will be returning to all DPS high schools starting today, even though East is closed, starting today through the end of this school year. Now, I was actually sitting down with Denver Mayor Wellington Webb yesterday, right after he called all of the Denver Public School Board members and told them he was going to call for school resource officers to be reinstated in Denver high schools. Now, Webb was a supporter of board member Ayante Anderson, who was the most vocal critic of school resource officers when they were removed from schools in 2020.
I told Director Anderson that the policy is unacceptable. I understood what he was trying to do, but it's not working.
You're someone who you put officers in the schools back in the day. You're also someone who knows that the issues of discrimination and racial bias against some students, and Tay Anderson, for example, has talked about that. Are there ways to make school resource officers better?
I mean, I think the question is obviously yes. Many of the school resource officers are also members of the minority community. Mm-hmm. Some of them are Latino, some of them are black, some are Asian, some are women. And that was one of the reasons and rationale behind putting the police officers, the SROs, in the schools, is so that they developed a rapport with the students in the schools, and that they also provide an area of safety. Obviously, DPS has their own security officers. That's not enough. That's not enough.
Clearly, the same sentiments of so many parents we talked to yesterday who said it just wasn't enough. And DPS Superintendent Alex Marrero issued a letter to the community yesterday saying those armed police officers will be back. He has the support of the entire board, although board policy will have to be changed at some point if SROs are going to be officially reintegrated back into schools.
So that is looking ahead to the rest of this school year. We're going to hear from other officials coming up. A reminder to keep it here on Denver 7 News. We're going to be live out here at East High School all morning long. We have extended coverage also online on denver7.com. And coming up, we're going to talk about the Denver Public School Safety Plan that was already in place. You mentioned it, the pat down of the shooting suspect and where that reached on the level of threats. And we're going to hear from some of the students who were out here trapped in this lockdown that feel like their voices are not being heard and that they're not being taken seriously enough, and what might be done more immediately to stop this rash of violence.